By now, you probably know that the smallest picture element, called a pixel, on your computer is square, meaning its height is equal to its width. Unfortunately, for reasons far too technical to get into now, the same is not true of many video formats. The most common non-square pixel aspect ratio you will encounter is D1, or DV pixel aspect ratio. This pixel aspect ratio is for standard definition 4:3 aspect ratio footage. For NTSC footage, its pixel aspect ratio is 0.9, which means its width is 90% of its height. They're a little taller than they are wide. When displayed on your computer, those pixels will be displayed as a square. This will result in your image appearing to be squashed. You see this most easily when looking at a circle. It will appear to be out of round. D1 PAL pixel aspect ratio is 1.09, meaning that it's a little wider than it is tall, which makes circles look like they're stretched taller than they are wide. Another pixel aspect ratio you might encounter is NTSC widescreen. This format takes a 16:9 image and squeezes it down into a 4:3 frame. This way you can shoot widescreen with a cheaper camera. So you may be wondering, what does this mean for me? Fortunately, After Effects handles most of the work for you. If you put a square pixel image created on the computer into a D1 comp, After Effects will compensate for you and the image will be squashed to match the D1 comp. The other issue is that working in an odd pixel aspect ratio may bother you. The distortion created by the D1 aspect ratio is minor and pretty easy to get used to, but there are a couple of workarounds. The first workaround is to turn on your pixel aspect ratio correction switch, although this has its own drawbacks. As you notice here, it can cause your images to look a little bit ragged around the edges. You don't have to worry about this. This isn't actually affecting the image, it's just affecting the display so that you can see what the image actually looks like without the distortion. So personally, I would prefer not to work with this button turned on. Another solution is to work in a square pixel comp and then render at the D1 resolution, which is particularly useful when working with widescreen footage.